We really appreciate you being here.
It's good to be here. I always love speaking at these events, particularly when it says, when you have the word Constitution in there and then freedom. I'm game.
Awesome. So I follow you personally on X. You do great work. I love your way of words. I wanted to ask you a few different questions today. What would you say to the average American that's at home and not here, but that feels very frustrated or overwhelmed by how much work there is to do to get our country back on track?
Yeah, I always go back to the following, and it's not hard math. So you got 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, and equals 168 hours. Imagine you have the luxury, like I do, to sleep 8 hours a day, okay? That's 56 hours, okay? So 168 minus 56 brings you down to 112 hours. Some of you have a full-time job. You're lucky enough to have a full-time job. That gives you 40 hours that you need to remove from those 112, bringing you down to 72 hours. It's what you do in those 72 hours that is going to make or break your community, your family, your county, your state, and the rest of the country. So local action having national impact. So first and foremost, in 72 hours, I mean, think through this. If you're not scrolling and stuck inside of a feed of somebody else's feed that is not educating you to be stronger mentally, physically, spiritually, in all regards, then you're probably wasting your time. If you're consuming information from the platforms and the information providers that have lied to you over the last several years, you're poisoning yourself. Just like when somebody says, oh, that's fast food, that's junk food, that's poison food, same thing applies to the information intake into your brain, because that sets your mood, your tone, and your motivation level. So let's face it, 72 hours, if you think about it, oh wow, that's another 2 full-time jobs that I could almost have, right? If you use it wisely. And you're gonna complain and come up with every different reason why, oh, I can't because, well, I gotta eat. Well, I gotta take a shower. I gotta do personal hygiene. I gotta commute to work. Well, why don't you duplicate efforts, such as when you're commuting to work, you can create content, you can consume content, right? There's all these things that you can do. Now, if you're gonna come up with a reason why you can't do it, then you don't even need to be listening to me, because you're already, at best, you're gonna be an observer and a spectator to those that are trying to help improve our country. But if you want to change that and snap out of it and actually take our country back, you have to take your goals, right? Our collective goals of freedom, and promulgate them. A lot of people, oh, I don't want to be on camera. Oh, I don't know what to say. Just say what you think. Because guess what? Even if it comes off with a lot of ums and likes and you knows, I guarantee you, if you're watching me right now, you're part of the community that is of the same ethos and drive of getting our country back on track. So use your own words. You're the messenger. Figure out what you're going to say, but don't, like before we started this broadcast, the video, you asked me, these are the questions that I'm going to ask you. And I said, I don't need to know what your questions are. Ask them like you're going to ask me for the first time, which you are, and then I'm going to answer them. So back to your question. What can you do? In those 72 hours, you have massive amounts of time to exercise, to sleep more if you want to sleep more, to then plan, to raise kids, right? To raise up your community and be the example, be the smartest and most physically fit person that you know, to then uplift others to do the same thing. And then at the end of the day, to counter those disinformation purveyors, whether it's fakebook, Instagarbage, CommieTube, right? And so on and so forth, or whether it's Criminal News Network or Faux News or MSLSD, or if you're still reading print, the Washington Compost and the New Woke Slimes and the Huffington Compost, right? The raw sewages of the world. Stop consuming them. Create your own content to counter their BS, because that BS is what's getting infused into your community, and they're still, a lot of them realize it's BS, but they have no alternative. Why not create the alternative, which is based on facts and freedom and the Constitution? And that's pretty much it. I think that answers your question.
It does. That's great. Another question
So if you're still on fakebook, I got nothing for you. You're lost.
Another question I have, it's a little different, but it fits with the medical freedom theme. How do you advocate for yourself and your family in medical settings?
So I always challenge. Obviously, everyone has to at times go. I broke my leg, or whatever it may be. You got to go see a doctor. I always challenge the nurse, the PA, the doctor. If they are to prescribe any sort of a therapy or a product, they have to prove to me that they know what the side effects are. And if they don't, I bring that up for them on my device. And I say, well, what about the following? I asked you about side effects. You didn't say anything, but let me read off to you what the side effects are of the product that you claim is going to help solve whatever you just diagnosed me with. And then I list it. And then I say, oh, and in some cases, death. How come you didn't mention that to me? Now it puts them in a very defensive posture, and they are almost forced to say, well, it is your choice. I know it's my choice. I want to make sure that I remind you it's my choice. And then you make your informed consent decision. Because at the end of the day, rights are only maintained if you assert them. Otherwise, someone else will just take them for you. And I think I've been known, if you've been watching my work, to I assert my rights every millisecond of the day if I see anybody trying to so as put a molecule to suppress them.